Okay guys, this is episode 4 of Basic Python Tutorials, and this is going to be a really quick one. I just want to show you about, teach you about variables. Now, basically a variable in just about any programming language is just a way of storing data to access within your program. And we'll just go off of the math part that we had gotten, and for variables we'll go ahead and just state let's say we're going to do like a program to calculate how much of a tip we would have to leave the pizza man. So we'll say you have a total, which we'll set to, which is what the equal sign does in this case for the variable. We're going to set total to equal, let's say, $40. We were extra hungry and got lots of pizza. And now we'll say that the tip needs to be set to let's go with 5%. Will be a cheap tipper. Now that we've set these variables so that total is equaling 40 and our tip is equaling 0.05, now instead of having to write in those prices, which may be easier in this case, but when our programs get more complex it won't be so easy. So what we would do is we would say total times tip, and that's going to do our math for us. And the total tip off of $40 giving a 5% tip would be $2. Not very much, but as you can see, that's how variables would be used. And we can use variables in many different instances and store many different things other than just numbers to variables. But at this point, that's all we're going to store. The other thing that you should probably be warned about as far as variable goes, in Python they are case sensitive. So say I wrote a capital total and I equaled that to, 30. Now, as you can see, total times tip is still equaling $2 because the total that I used was still the lowercase t. And if I do the capital T, total times tip, now the tip is only $1.50. So as you can see, the case sensitivity stores different things to the variables. So if your variable was total, you have to make sure later on in your program that you spell it the exact same way with the same case, because Python is case sensitive. Now this comes in play because it allows you to make lots of variables that are similar, but they would still be different. So as far as Python goes, it is case sensitive, and you must make sure that it stays with the proper casing throughout. Otherwise you will have errors in your program, and sometimes those errors are a real tough one to find if you have lots of variables that you use throughout your program. So best to keep a typical fashion when you're programming, so that way it stays the same and you really don't have to deal with it, and you'll know just by regular typing as you go that, okay, this is what I had. If you're used to putting a capital first, then use a capital first. If not, then use lowercase or whichever. Another thing that I'll get into is something called Camel Casing, which is typical in programming languages throughout. What Camel Casing is say hero, hit the cap lock, health point Now that's a very descriptive variable, and as you can see, what camel casing means in this case is, you see how the first H for hero is lowercase, and then the next word that would start being health is another H, which is uppercase, and then the next word being points, the P being uppercase. That's what camel caps or camel casing is. It's pretty much the humps of a camel. You know, every time you're starting a new word, you have that hump, which is the uppercase, and basically that'll be the way that we'll be doing our variables throughout as we go further on. But that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and bye.